want to overcome the fear of stage fright caused by a fear of being boring, listen up.
Welcome to Speakers Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas and Lily Patrascu. Discover how to become a charismatic speaker and leader so you can attract ideal clients and business collaborations.
You need to show your humorous, fun side, your authentic side. Because when you are yourself, when you show your fun, your authentic side, and you remember that the stage audience is a part of your friend group, okay? You can imagine them being a part of your friend group, even if they are not, okay? You are about to develop a friendship with the audience that is there. You have to remember that this is who they are and this is who they want to be. They want to know you. They want to know what you have to share with them. They are keen to meet you, and you have to create this kind of perception of them, even if it's not yet true, even if you don't know them at all. If you start seeing them like this, what you'll find is that you can relax a lot more and you can show your funny side. Now, how Harry tends to do it and how I have recently started doing it is by relaxing as much as possible and by first asking funny questions, like raise your hand if you would love to be at home in your bed, but you're here. And the reason why you want to start asking these kind of funny questions is because these are the kind of questions I would ask someone, like a friend of mine, if they were here. And I also find a way to, you can say, find the silver lining in every cloud. I find a way to find the humorous, the funny side in everything that's happening, so much so that even in lack, let's say if I don't have any food in the fridge, I could still find a way to put a positive spin on it, such as that gives me the opportunity to be slimmer. Okay. And in the same way, you need to find a way to find a positive spin on anything that's happening that you can actually share with the audience that will enable you to create that instant connection. Now, if you were in front of a friend or if you were in front of a person that you would like to meet that you have just met, you would try to create rapport. And that's why when you are on stage, you also need to start to create rapport. So by asking them, raise your hand, how many of you are from the UK? Raise your hand, how many of you are from other countries? So what you're doing there, you are kind of establishing a point of rapport. And if, let's say, you were to teach makeup, you would ask, raise your hand, how many of you have tried putting makeup on before? Okay, and then you're kind of trying to gauge another point of rapport. You are trying to gauge a point of commonality that you have with your audience. And by them answering those questions, you are going to start to find a point where you can relate with the audience, because then you can mention, I'm so glad you mentioned that you've never put makeup on before, because many years ago, I also had no clue how to do it. And that is how you start to create that connection and that relatability. And it's so important that you become relatable, because when you are relatable, you are funny. When you are relatable, fascinating. When you are relatable, you are interesting, and the audience is craving to hear what you're going to say next.
And now, if you want to take it to the next level, to be relatable, there is something that you can do. You can call them to the stage, and you will see that at the beginning you're gonna find a little bit of resistance, because you said, okay, who want to come to the stage to do this exercise with me? And nobody wants to go there. They don't know what happened. However, is when they go there, you do an exercise that is funny, that they feel relaxed. And after, you give them your book as a present. Wow, you will find out that after, when you said next time, who wants to come to the stage, they all will want to come, but they all know that they're going to give your book as a present. So like that, you will create this interaction, this relativity, getting related that Lily's talking about. And again, you get them to move, you get them to participate. So but exactly, but this is something that works very good if you give them a present, because after you give the present to the first one, and I say, who wants to come next to the stage? You see everybody, me. When the exercise is they have some fun, and also they got a little present with them that will create a lot of engagement.
The other thing is that when you are starting to ask those rapport questions, like shout out where you guys are from, or raise your hand if you've ever raised money for a charity before, or whatever it is that your course is about. Raise your hand if you've ever done, try to calculate your income before, or whatever it is you're trying to cover in that course, right? And then you start to create this point of reference. Okay, some people have done it, some people haven't done it, some people have a medium skill in that area, and then you start to relate with those target groups and say, oh, years ago I had no idea how to do it. And that's when you could start to insert not only your personal story, which makes you very authentic and relatable, but also you start to insert some elements and fears and needs and wants of your target market that you also had before. For example, I would say many years ago, I used to really struggle with putting on makeup, and I had no idea how to do it. And it took me so many years to learn how to do it. And I finally learned how to do it. Or I would say, I struggled to publish my first book, and it took me 3 months to publish my very first book by myself. And now I can do it in so much faster time frame, and also I can do it so much better and with so much more skill and with such better results. Okay, so you are bringing this level of relatability by expressing who you used to be and what you used to do and how you used to be in their shoes. And when you bring that level of relatability, then you become more exciting and more fascinating. The other thing you can do is you can mention things like, if you're anything like me, if you mention that, they will feel related to your story, and that will make you more exciting and more impactful as a speaker. The other thing you can do is you can ask them a question. So let's say if you mentioned a story about trauma or a story about how you didn't used to know something, you could ask them, raise your hand if you've ever felt this way. That will again make you look very interesting, very exciting.
Definitely, if you don't want to be speaking, you want to be a very engaging speaker, your secret is become a great storyteller. Because if you're great at telling stories and you can tell funny stories, that only will make a huge difference how the audience perceive you as a speaker. You have to become a great storyteller. And those stories, if they're funny stories, they love it. Yeah. And if there are other stories that you can use to reinforce content. So to sum up, if you want to be a speaker that the audience love you, the audience get engaged, that the audience learn from you, becoming a great storyteller. Learn how to tell stories effectively, because when you're telling a story, the whole audience is engaged with you, because everybody wants to. If you are a great storyteller, the audience is looking forward to see how the story finishes. Les Brown, we have the opportunity of share the stage with him. And he always shared that people will pay you even to hear your story if you're a great storyteller. So remember that, and see you in our next.
Follow us for more charismatic speaker and leader tips.